Save your time, save your money. Welcome to Rotten Real Roll. I'm Sinmin. Today, we're discussing Bill Burr's new Netflix film, Old Dads. Before we start, please like, share, and follow our channel if you enjoy this content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for updates. Thank you. Among all genres, there's a category of films designed solely to infuriate another group of people. While nearly every movie reflects the values of its creators, most either cleverly hide these messages within their stories, hoping for subtle audience recognition, or simply conform to what's considered mainstream culture, regurgitating political correctness or universally acknowledged nonsense. However, Old Dads is one such movie that neither intends to cater to today's mainstream American culture nor deigns to camouflage its viewpoints with a sophisticated story. It's destined to provoke a round of cancel culture. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's quickly recap the plot. Bill plays Jack, an upcoming father for the second time. A middle-aged man. He's a loving husband and a great father but has one fatal flaw. An irritable, unrestrained temper. He and his two buddies, Connor and Mike, built a successful business, yet were fired by a new, younger management for privately chatting in the car, caught on the dashcam, and making vulgar remarks about women. It's apparent that this politically correct world seems to have marginalized them. Meanwhile, Jack's son is about to start kindergarten, and he gets into a conflict with the school principal due to a clash in values. To secure a recommendation letter for his son, Jack reluctantly tries to fit into this politically correct new era, but makes things worse due to his stubbornness, leading to his wife kicking him out of the house. Finally, Jack reflects on his issues and reconciles with this world. From the perspective of script writing, this movie may not be considered excellent. A mature commercial comedy script usually needs a compelling, intensely dramatic one-liner. For example, a loser suddenly gets an overnight fortune opportunity but must spend $1 billion within 10 days. Otherwise, it's challenging to capture the audience's attention. Old Dads doesn't seem to belong to this category. Based solely on its story summary, it doesn't appear to have much desire to attract viewers. Yet, anyone who has seen it finds it challenging to mask their strong liking or aversion to it. You'll either love it or find it utterly distasteful. Those who love it may consider it the best and censored comedy film in recent years. These individuals are mostly Bill Burr's fans, deeply resonating with his values displayed in his stand-up. Those who detest it immediately label it as misogynistic or having a white male superiority complex. They believe it doesn't qualify as a legitimate comedy movie but rather as a sketch montage, highlighting ideological conflicts in America in recent years. Of course, some of Bill Burr's fans gave it a 1-star review, reasoning, "What? This guy ultimately accepts secular ideological assimilation, disgustingly nauseating." In summary, its reviews show a polarized trend. Few would say, "Oh, I feel neutral about this film, neither good nor bad." This situation rises from its accurate reflection of the minutiae of our daily lives. Particularly for friends living in America, they might feel, "Yes, I've encountered this sort of thing. My son's school teacher is just like that principal." This closeness to real-life experiences is incomparable to the strongly expressed values showcased in Barbie. What it reflects is a heavily divided American society due to clashing values. Specifically, not only in American society but also in Europe, the Middle East, China, and nearly every country on Earth, similar situations have emerged. People divide over various issues, resulting in friendships ending, couples arguing, employees being fired, and celebrities either staying silent or facing boycotts, causing massive losses in endorsement contracts. While the in-film Jack reconciles with this world, the real world outside the movie cannot. As I said in the previous episode discussing Paradise, whether it's a left-wing or right-wing film, creators will shape their opponents as villains or clowns to promote their own beliefs, and often exaggerate the situation. This movie is no exception. The only difference lies in the logical support for the story that you're telling. And my conclusion is that Old Dads, in terms of its story, is generally reasonable, except for the male protagonist's 180-degree change at the end. If you're easily offended, this movie might have elements that could make you uncomfortable. However, if you possess a self-deprecating spirit, enjoy, and appreciate the offensive humor found in stand-up comedy, this movie might provide you with a good experience. Censorship, originally something that shouldn't be prevalent in America, is, on the contrary, something I, a screenwriter born and raised in China, am quite familiar with. However, it is now surprisingly prevalent in America. Distinct from the Big Brother style, Communist Party-driven thought and speech censorship seen in the former Soviet Union, American cultural censorship is subtle and formed by the consensus of society. Politically incorrect expressions don't get directly banned by the government as in China, or result in the speaker being imprisoned, or even sentenced to life imprisonment, but rather, American-style censorship comes to you from every corner of society. Schools, families, workplaces, social circles, social media, isolating you mentally, just as demonstrated in this film. This intrusive, suffocating atmosphere actually adds to the contagiousness of this movie. For instance, when my wife saw the conversation segment she raised strong objections. Why should hosting a white-themed party be criticized for not being inclusive enough? What about our Chinese community hosting a celebration during the Chinese New Year without Christmas decorations or inviting other ethnicities? Is that not inclusive enough? In films showcased at Black film festivals, if there isn't a single white actor or any representation of Asian or Indian faces, would that lack diversity? If not, could this be considered a double standard? Fortunately, she's an Asian woman, not easily rebuked as stop expressing your old white male privileged opinion. If she were a lesbian, she'd have even more confidence. While drafting the script for this episode, I initially used the title, an uncensored comedy. After some thought, I deleted it because this movie appears to have been censored and self-castrated. The male lead, Jack, lives in constant confusion. His outbursts in anger rise from why are they so easily offended? Being 2 minutes late to pick up his child would result in a public scolding from the child's principal. A simple argument is escalated to issues of discrimination against women, body shaming, and the 400-year systemic oppression of slavery and demands a public apology. A simple nostalgic-themed charity event is labeled not inclusive enough and must be replaced by a transgender theme. He couldn't understand the society's contradictory double standards, clearly being the one oppressed everywhere, yet being tagged as white male privilege and condemned as a rule breaker and man-child. While the young, who refuse to stop at a stop sign, are seen as needing inclusion and love. Meanwhile, the children of friends lack basic discipline, scream in public, and hit a pregnant woman's stomach, but you cannot point it out or you're seen as hurting the child's self. In my view, a man with so many struggles in this world isn't likely to easily change his beliefs. This is just not realistic. However, Jack does change because he cannot bear his wife's indifference, cannot bear being prohibited from talking to his lifelong friends for 30 years, and finally, he chooses to return by suppressing his anger, trying not to be a rebel. In the movie, Jack succumbs, and so does Burr outside of the movie. And in my view, any change of thoughts that does not stem from thoughtful, free-willed choice, but from succumbing to some external force is regrettable. Because Burr cannot answer a question, Jack can continue being an uncompromising fighter forever. But what then? Ibsen can have Nora leave home in a doll's house because he opposes traditional marriage. But can Burr? If a staunch Republican plans to leave home, is he still a Republican? If he doesn't want to leave America, there's only compromise as a path, or at least a partial compromise. After all, this is a comedy, not natural-born killers, and conservatives are not adept at revolution. This destined this film to be just like Burr's comedy show, filled with complaints and gripes, but never really breaking up or turning the table. Only a partial compromise. It's already the final, lonely struggle of a stubborn old white man. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share our video. And don't forget to ring the bell for updates, so that YouTube's algorithm can better recommend our channel. See ya!